Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the top 10 most hyped or overhyped products from influencers in 2019. So on my Instagram, I asked you guys to send in what products or items you were just kind of sick of hearing about or what you thought was just receiving too much hype in kind of the blogging world. So in today's video, I'm going to be kind of giving you my 2 cents on the top 10 entries that I received. And if you guys have any items that I didn't mention, or if you also feel are equally overhyped, definitely let me know your thoughts on these products down in the comments below. So most of these products I definitely saw coming. There's very few surprises in this list. I would love to know what you think is going to be number one down in the comments, but I also am guilty of sharing a lot of these. So I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. Keep in mind I am a blogger, but these are my personal opinions on all of these items. So number 10 was one of the few that I haven't personally tried or ever shared, so I was kind of surprised to see it from you guys following me, but it is this Amazon makeup organizer. So I personally haven't been interested in trying it. Honestly, I don't know why. It just looks like it's just too complicated for me. I hear a lot of people rave about it, obviously from other influencers. It's a great price point, so that's probably why as well. I just personally haven't felt compelled to try it. So if you have tried it, I'd love to know your thoughts on it down below. But yeah, this is one that I feel like is potentially overhyped. If you are curious about what I use to travel with my makeup, I have these adorable makeup bags from Hollis. Now this one is very large, but it fits everything that you need. You can also do like your skincare or hair care in here. It doesn't have to be makeup, but it fits everything. Full-size palettes. I put my brushes in here. It does come with a brush set as well. It's over here, let me grab it. I actually use it to prop up my camera sometimes. So yeah, it comes with this, so you put your makeup brushes in here and that fits inside here. And then there is also a smaller makeup bag. So I use this one in my purse, or if I just don't need as much makeup, which let's be honest, I like having options. So we travel with this big boy in my checked-in luggage. You wanna say hi?
Hi. I don't need to be seeing this right now.
He's not feeling very well, but he's still a cutie.
Hi, YouTube.
Go lay down. He was traveling all week, so he's starting, I don't know.
I'm hoping it's just the weather change.
Yeah. Number 9 is Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. And if you've been following me for 2019, you know that I've talked about this lipstick time and time again. I think it's a great product. Honestly, I have never been a fan of lipstick until I did discover this formula. I think that's because I always try to make MAC lipsticks work for me, and they just did not. They would just not do great things for my lips. So I was more so a lip gloss or chapstick fan for years and years. But when I discovered this formula, I actually gifted it to my mom for Christmas, and then I tried hers and I was like, okay, I need that. This one is a brand new one. I have 2. So this has been definitely my most worn lipstick throughout the year. I don't swipe it on heavily, so it is like a deeper nude color. Sorry, the people next door are moving in, so if you hear noise. But I just dab it on my lips just to a very light flush of color, and it's just very comfortable on my lips. It's like a Your Lips but better. So I do really like this lipstick. However, I feel like it is just like the one lipstick that everyone's talking about right now, so I'm trying to find other new ones that aren't being used by everybody, I guess. So another color I do love with this lipstick is also Live It Up. If you like something a little more pink, this is Live It Up. And then this is Pillow Talk. So that's the 2 colors that I use. Right now I actually have one on from YSL. It's more of a nude color, which I have stayed away from for a long time because I like a little bit of color on my lips, but I don't mind this nude. So I'll link all of these down below. Also, just to speak on the formula, it is more of a kind of matte, but it doesn't dry out my lips, at least. This YSL one is a lot more matte and a little more drying, but I kind of like the look. It's just something different. Number 8, this one was definitely not a surprise to me, but the Barefoot Dreams cardigan specifically. Some people were just like saying Barefoot Dreams, but most people were saying the cardigan. I can totally see where you're coming from this, because I do feel like during the Nordstrom sale, this product is raved about so much, and then you don't really hear about it again unless it's particularly on sale. So I do wear mine often. Like I'll wear it around the house because I'm always cold in the house. So I mostly wear it around the house, but I also kept this one at my office where I worked as a PT because it was so warm. It's actually a little bit thicker and warmer than most cardigans, and so I find that I just kind of grab it at work or at home. Would I spend $116 on the product? Probably not, because that is a lot for a cardigan. I do wear it, so price per wear is great, but I always buy them when they're on sale during the Nordstrom sale. So for $78 when they are marked down, that's when I would recommend to buy it. When it does come to this cardigan though, I think just have the expectation that it's actually technically kind of a more pajama line. So I don't necessarily reach for it if I'm getting like cute going out. I'll typically wear a different type of cardigan, but for around the house when I'm cold, or when I just don't care when I'm cold at work, I do wear it and reach for it a lot. So number 7, I definitely grouped together, so there is more than one mentioned here, but I was just getting a lot of different ones. There wasn't one that was more standout than the other, so I just kind of said subscription services. So what I mean by this is FabFitFun, HelloFresh, or Home Chef, or those types of things that you typically see from other influencers. Wow, this box is really heavy. So this is a FabFitFun box. I'm sure you've seen one. If you follow a ton of influencers or YouTubers or whatever. I don't even like the word influencers, by the way. It kind of makes me cringe. Like, I don't ever refer to myself as that. I don't know. Okay, this is very heavy because I actually use it as storage for makeup that I haven't reached for. So I definitely need to go through this and donate, or you know, get rid of things. But I do try to make use of these boxes because I think they're cute. So I just kind of have used them as storage through the years. This one is, wow. This is kind of embarrassing, but this is, yeah, need to go through that. So just my 2 cents on each of these briefly. FabFitFun, I was a member of, like a paying member for at least 1.5 years, maybe even closer to 2 before I started working with them. So I was already a fan of the product. I think it's, out of all the subscription services, one of the better ones, because I personally don't like samples. So I've never signed up for other subscriptions that give you samples. So I love that it's full-size products. I love that it's all seasonal related and kind of a really good variety. I think you just need to go into it with the expectations of not being obsessed with every single thing. But when you take the value of it, I've always liked at least 2 or 3 products more than pay for the box. Whether that's like a really nice skincare product that is the price of the box that I would have paid for, that's where I think it is worth it. If you go into that subscription wanting to love every single thing, then you may be disappointed. But things that I don't like, I don't necessarily get rid of them. You can resell them, which I know a lot of people do on Poshmark and things like that. But you can also save those items for little gift ideas. Like if you don't think you're going to use things, I have definitely like filled up a gift drawer just with extra FabFitFun things. So depends on kind of what you want out of it. I personally thought at least getting some new skincare products or products that are expensive in the box were at least worth it, in my opinion. And then as far as meal subscription services, I also was, again, a paying customer of those services. When Tim and I moved into this house, we are both not familiar with cooking at all. It's not something that we're very passionate about. So I signed up for that and kind of paid for it for at least a year. We tried HelloFresh and Home Chef, and then I did work with Home Chef as well. Between the two, my personal preference, and Tim's as well, was Home Chef, just because it was less complicated. It was more like homemade meals. It wasn't as, like, I felt like HelloFresh, they have a lot of chopping and like sauce creation, and Tim was actually the primary chef with all of those. He just wasn't a big fan of like spending the most time on the part of the meal that we weren't actually eating as much of. So yeah, our preference was Home Chef. But if you like to cook, or if you know how to cook, and you probably don't need the service or need to justify spending the money on it, but if you are like me, you don't like cooking, you don't like thinking about what to cook and all that, I think it's great and convenient. Number 6 is the T3 curling iron, and I can again see where you're coming from on this. Are there other curling irons that are significantly cheaper on the market? Absolutely. You know, it's kind of just a matter of your preference. I feel like I'm saying this repeatedly, but I actually bought the T3 years ago. I did a review on it actually on my blog. It wasn't sponsored or anything. So I'll link it down below if you want to see that. I think it's a couple years old. So I decided to buy it because I had all of these different curling irons. I had like different sized ones. I know I had 2 from Conair, different sizes. I had different size curling irons, crimpers, just all of this stuff that was taking up clutter. And so I was like, I just want to replace all of that with this one cord. So the fact that I can change out my curling irons, like when I'm traveling, things like that, it's just more user friendly to me. Is it expensive? Absolutely. I personally would not be able to tell the difference if I curled one side of my hair with this and then the other side with the same size wand. I probably would not be able to tell. I've just been kind of loyal to this ever since I purchased it myself, and that's why I use it. So one thing that personally I don't say when I talk about this iron, or I personally don't feel like is necessarily accurate, is using this wand will make your curls last so much longer. It just doesn't happen like that for me. I didn't notice that I can suddenly wear my hair without touching it for days, you know? I think that's all dependent on your hair type, how you're curling, the size of the wand, all of that. I personally always touch up my hair at least, because my hair does not hold curl, but I do wear hair extensions and things like that, and that holds the curl. And if you're curious about like what hair extensions I'm wearing right now, all that, I did film a video on it, so it's coming soon. Also, this wand does get extremely hot. I've never ever used it on number 5, and I honestly wouldn't recommend you guys to do that either, at least until you rule out that the lower temperatures don't work for you. If that's the case, then your hair definitely needs it. My hair would probably fry off if I used it on the hottest setting, because it gets very, very hot. So I did try the dupe to this. There's one from Kristen S at Target. It gives you the same aesthetic. So if that's all you care about is the looks, then get that one. However, it was nowhere near as smooth on my hair. I do have a video on Instagram showing you guys how I did that, and I mentioned that in the video. But this one is just so smooth on your hair. It doesn't grab it. Like, you know how some irons, it's like, no, this one won't do that. So that is definitely one main plus of this curling iron. I feel like that one got a little longer and passionate, and I'm sorry about that. Number 5 was the Spanx leather leggings. I assumed most people refer to leather leggings, so I just kind of assumed that you meant the Spanx leather leggings. So again, I've done many videos styling these leggings. I think they're great. I have tried to find dupes of them out there, and I just haven't, just based, because I personally am not a big fan of like the shiny leather. I like more of the matte look that the Spanx gives me. But just as far as fit and feel, the Spanx just haven't been compared to anything. I do want to try the Commando. They're the same price point, and I have seen some people say those are great. But as I was looking at reviews online, Spanx are by far the most popular option, the most reviewed. And I know a lot of influencers, I don't like that word, recommend them, but I can see people raving about them in other Facebook groups like the Sassy Club and the Skinny Confidential. So I think it just seems like only bloggers talk about them, but I know a ton of people who aren't bloggers that love them as well. So number 4 was the Tarte Shape Tape, and I have definitely used this in the past. I think probably mentioned it in favorites videos. I don't currently use it, so I can't show it to you guys, but I think it more so suits very oily skin. If you are wanting something very full coverage and you have oily skin, I feel like it's a great one for you because it's pretty thick but also dry enough to stay. If you have very dry skin, I felt like it kind of exaggerated my fine lines under my eyes and just kind of dried out that area. So right now I have used the NARS Creamy Concealer just because it's a lot more moisturizing, especially this winter. I feel like we all saw the top 3 coming, especially this next one. I was kind of surprised it wasn't. I was thinking it would be number 2, but it was number 3 as far as like how many people said it. The Nordstrom anniversary sale. Kind of breaks my heart a little bit because I'm a fan, obviously. So I have been a shopper of the Nordstrom sale long before I was even a blogger. It was definitely not at the pace or intensity, it feels like at times, that it is today. I feel like it just gets bigger and more obsessive every single year. Without a doubt, there are definitely overhyped items in every single sale every single year. I've actually done posts on this in years past where I've shared my 2 cents on what items I think are overhyped in the sale. But considering that you can get really good items on sale before the season, that's why I just think it's one of my favorite sales to shop all year. I have actually already started to kind of think about the Nordstrom sale this year and get excited for it, and I'm like, okay, Amanda, calm down, it's only January. When you go into it having a budget and knowing exactly what you need for your wardrobe, you will be 100% satisfied shopping the sale. But if you go into it without a budget and you just overspend and you are buying things that your closet doesn't necessarily need, then yeah, you may be unsatisfied after shopping the sale. Things that I think are always worth it in the sale are the Barefoot Dreams items, especially the blankets. Y'all know how I feel about that blanket. So good. Boots, like if you know that you need a good pair of booties or boots in the sale, that is the time to get them, because you'll get them discounted ahead of the season. And I know people are like, all these items go on sale again, but that's because it's after the season, so they end up at Nordstrom Rack, but you can only wear them for 2 more months before it's time to buy spring things. So I do like to get those types of items. Spanx leggings. There's just some things that are worth getting in that sale. I'll do a post on that when the time comes, but we're not here for that yet. Number 2, the Billy Razor. So this is my Billy Razor. Of course I got the pink. It is cute. So I was definitely influenced to buy this just to see what the hype was all about and what all the fuss was about on Instagram, because I had just kept seeing it. So I have 2 different thoughts on this. I'll start with the negative first, I guess. So this is a very, very sharp razor. And I definitely noticed that I nicked myself more with this than any other razor, just because I think the blades are a little bit sharper. And I was using a men's razor before, which I personally felt like were better than women's razors. So I'm starting to wonder if this is too sharp for my skin as far as causing irritation, because I have noticed, and I don't know why, maybe because I am going over areas that don't have enough shaving cream, but after I shave with this, I do notice areas that feel like burny and rashy, and I just don't know if it's too sharp for my skin or if I just need to be more careful as far as putting, like, only going over areas that have shaving cream, because I like to kind of go over things multiple times. So I will update you guys on that. I'm going to keep playing with the shaving cream and all that ratio, but I have definitely noticed like a skin sensitivity to it and more nicks, but I think it's just because it's a lot sharper. Do I necessarily think I can suddenly go days longer? Not really, because I think you can only get so close to your skin, and you're just, you know, you're not magically getting super deep. So personally, I feel like that's kind of a little fluffed from other influencers. The one reason I would consider keeping this or recommending it for you guys is just the convenience factor. If you are someone that goes to Target for replacement razors and then you end up spending $100 while you're there because you're browsing at Target, and we all know how that happens, then this will essentially save you money because you don't have to go out to Target to get the replacement heads. So this was actually my package of replacement heads. It just comes like this, and I get 2 new ones. You take a survey to let them know how often you shave, and that's how often they send you these. So mine come every 2 months because I don't shave my legs every day or nearly every week either. I have like very blonde thin hair, so, and it's winter. One thing I also want to mention about this that I have not seen anyone else mention is it does like goop a little bit. And what I mean by that, I thought it was actually the shaving cream, but it was not. It's this, because it still happens when I use my normal shaving cream. So you can kind of see like almost like a string, and it's just like, because this is very like creamy. I think this is actually charcoal around here too, but it is a little goopy. So that takes a little getting used to, just a little heads up on it. Number 1 most hyped or overhyped item. I'm sure this is no surprise to you if you follow a bunch of bloggers. Tula products. Okay, so this is probably my 4th bottle of this, and this stuff does last a long time. If you compare size-wise to most face washes, this is actually a good amount of product, especially for the price. I think it's $28. Which, side note too, if you do shop Tula often, they are switching up their coupon code. Normally coupon codes are 20% off, but by the end of January they're going to drop to 15%. So if you are an avid Tula fan and you want that 20%, I would recommend to get a backup of your products now, Otherwise, it will be 15% off moving forward. And I'll link my Tula code down below. I think it's strawberry chic. So I do not think that Tula is the end all be all skincare product. I think it definitely works for a lot of people out there. And that's why a lot of people still talk about it. Otherwise, like, if a product wasn't working for people, it wouldn't continue to be as big of a deal, I don't think. Do I think there are other skincare products that work better for me? Personally, yes. I love Colleen Rothschild and I love Elemis skincare products. I still use that cleanser every now and then when I get lazy and don't want to use like my cleansing balm. I'll take my makeup off with that cleanser because it does a really good job of removing makeup, but it does dry out my skin. So it's not my primary cleanser. Maybe I'll switch back to it in the summertime when my skin is a lot more oily, but it does do a great job of removing makeup, and overall I think they do have good products. I think this was like the #1 mentioned product as far as like when people were talking about Tula. This is the brightening eye balm, which if you have been following along with me, you know this took a little bit of time for me to kind of integrate into my routine. I just kept forgetting about it. But once I started to, I was like, okay, now I see why people use this. So if you are someone that likes a bright under eye, if you need a little more like awakening in the morning, this does kind of cool your eyes and brightens them up. The one product I feel like deserves all of the hype out there. I have raved about this. This is my second one that I've purchased. This is the face filter primer and it is so good. I've never been a fan of primers just because I don't see them make any difference. This one, I actually tell a difference. You put it on your skin, it looks almost a little orangey at first, but then it just kind of like sets and your pores look smaller. It just looks smooth. You have a little bit of a glow from the tint. So this is the one that I actually notice a difference with. So I'm obviously a big fan. I'm probably going to purchase another one before the 20% off code runs off. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on Tula. I feel like I was a little all over the place with that product, but that's my 2 cents. Do I think it's the end all be all? Absolutely not. Do I think they have some good products? I do. Does it work for everyone? No. That was my little summary on Tula. So those were the top 10 products that you guys thought were overhyped or most talked about, I guess, in 2019. And I know I was kind of supportive of the majority of these products, but that's because I legitimately use them. If I didn't, I would not be supporting them. Hope you guys understand that. I would love to know your thoughts on any of these products. If you've tried them, if you think they're overhyped, like you're not gonna hurt my feelings. These are just my thoughts on them. But I'd love your feedback down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time over on my channel, definitely hit subscribe to stick around. I share lots of styling, try-on hauls, fashion, all of that stuff here on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.